Victor Edbom writes, my question is regarding the Bad Boys franchise. We know that Sony has announced release dates for 2 more sequels, one of them being Bad Boys 3 with a release date of February 2017. But there's been pretty much no updates at all since that announcement. The IMDb page for Bad Boys 3 has 2 writers attached to the project, along with the rumored director in Joe Carnahan. And as far as I know, neither Will Smith or Martin Lawrence has been confirmed yet, although Lawrence has several times hinted at the fact that the sequel is happening. With the release date being just 1 year away, you would think that things would get moving pretty soon. Have you heard any updates on this?
Yeah, actually, just recently, Will Smith was being interviewed, and he said, like, him and Martin Lawrence have actually not seen each other in 2 years. Wow. And he said they just got together believe it was last week, he said, we hugged, looked at each other's eyes, and he said, you just knew it was on. He goes, and then he said, yeah, another Bad Boys is definitely happening. That's Will Smith's quote. Another Bad Boys is definitely happening. So now that's not from the studio, although they've set a release date of sorts. I still haven't heard that Lawrence or Smith have signed. I don't know what the circumstances were with them getting together. If it was specifically to talk about maybe doing a Bad Boys 3, and then Smith saying, as soon as we hugged, we knew it, it's on, then I think it's probably a pretty good bet you're going to see them both return. How do you interpret it?
I do think a third one will happen. Now, this is, to me, premature to say that you're going to do 3 and then 4. Let's see how the third one goes, because it's been so long since the second one goes. That to me is premature. But I do think this will happen. I love the idea of Joe Carnahan doing it. I think he's perfect for Bad Boys 3. I hope that happens. But I do think it'll happen. I think that from that, exactly what you said, them sitting down, having that conversation, meeting, they probably had a really good meeting and said, okay, well, let's figure it out. Let's figure out what the take is. And they both need, Martin Lawrence certainly needs it, but Will Smith needs a movie in the commercial space again, so I think this could be it.
He does have
Suicide Squad. Yeah, but that's kind of a collective thing, though, too, that it's going to be, I mean, you could put Will Smith in that role, helps tremendously, but if you took Will Smith out, put him out with another big actor, Suicide Squad's not going to fail.
That's
you can't do Bad Boys 3 without Will Smith, obviously,
I agree.
so that's his franchise.
No, and I remember them talking about doing Bad Boys 3 without them. And I was like, why? Just call it something else. I mean, you're just going off of, you're tagging a name franchise, and if you don't have Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, their chemistry in both of those first 2 films is what differentiates it from a series of massive explosions and car chases, is the people in it, you know?
Right.
So that's the only reason I would want to see a Bad Boys 3 is if those 2 stars were in it. So I didn't even know that news that they met up. So that makes me excited to see the film, to be honest, because if they don't know who it is, I think Joe Carnahan's a great director. He'd be like, you're wasting your time doing Bad Boys 3 if you don't have these guys in it, because it's like he's a better pedigree director. He can do car explosions and cool action scenes, but he can also do stuff like Narc, which is like, you know,
it'd be like Point Break again. It's like why they should have called Point Break something else.
Yeah. Let me throw this out there. Let's say that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence don't sign up to do it, okay? Yeah. And they decide to move ahead, and let's say they get a Joe Carnahan on, and then later they announce that the new leads of Bad Boy, they're going to be new characters, and it's Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan. Does that get you a little bit more interested? I know, because I'm with you. Like, if you can't do a Bad Boys 3 without Smith and Lawrence, but if you tell me that, and it's like a Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan, then I'm like, I'm seeing it.
No, I'm seeing it, but I'm still saying why and what does it play in the storyline? Like, because again, going off of Ghostbusters, I like the female cast, but I also think that it should continue the lore that's already been put there. I don't think that it needs to be a remake. I've been saying that over and over again. It's the same thing with that situation happened. I'd be like, okay, well, what happened in the previous Bad Boys that now led us to this new cast? What's the reasoning behind it? I don't like when they just, here he is.
Right. Are Chadwick and are they the brothers or sons?
What are they? Yeah.
How are they related? You know, it's like, are they, you know, so it makes sense. But I like those 2 names, and Carnahan instantly made me rethink and be like, nah, I'll see Bad Boys 3.
But you could even throw in another, and I think that you could even say, why call it Bad Boys and make it another, because those guys alone and Joe Carnahan with a similar type of story, but not calling it Bad Boys.
Brand recognition.
Sure. Right. But I mean, but it's still, but you risk the fact that people going, well, why are Will Smith and
it's the third one, and it was like 15 or 20 years ago.
Right.
So that would be my thing. Like, why bring up, you know, this brand recognized thing that was, I think the first 2 were directed by Michael Bay. So it's like
the first 2
all
were,
these kinds of explosions, and it just won't have the same feel because Joe Carnahan is not Michael Bay.
No.
They're totally different directors. I would rebrand it, you know, but I wouldn't Bad Boys, the new school or whatever. I wouldn't do any of that. I would just call it something brand new.
You know they're going to call it that now.
Probably.
Bad Boys 3, new school.
I will say this to you. Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it?
It's a high, come on.
Sensei.
Zoolander.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at